Back in 2013, I attended an FCA Night of Champions night for the second year in a row over at Mariners Church, and I was there because I was a captain for FCA, one of the captains, and I brought my juggling stuff just to juggle around the campus of the church. And I got there extra early, and there were a few people showing up, and there's this one person who was very impressed that I could juggle, and he thought that I was juggling well. So later on, I run into him again, and there I was juggling, so we say hi. If I remember correctly, I ran into him again like a few moments later, and he says, "Look, I know that you can juggle well. You're a very good juggler," and left. I'm getting the impression that he thinks that I was following him, and even to this day I still lose sleep over it. However, when we all got to the sanctuary later that night, I was there sitting down ready for everything to start, and all of a sudden a person comes next to me, and it was that same boy. So he's like, "Could I sit down?" Because I mean everything was packed, so I let him sit down next to me, and I'm like, okay. And still to this day I have no idea if he thought that I was trying to impress him or something like that, or follow him or anything. Certainly it's not the case. I just love sharing what God has given me, which is the talent of juggling along with the talent of a lot of other things. One thing to add, I still worry about that to this day. If ever I run into the same person twice in the same hike. In fact, it actually happened a few weeks ago when I ran into the same couple of people 3 times in the same hike. And that's actually been one of my #1 fears all these years of hiking around the neighborhood, is that people might think that I'm following them if we cross paths in the same hike. And in my autistic brain, I'm planning ahead, which is what we do, and I'm thinking of several defenses ahead of time, like, well, if I'm walking forward and they're in the cross traffic, how is it that you're ahead of me and I'm right here? I can't be following you and such. I mean, I don't go and follow people, and that's one of my #1 worries, that people would assume that and such. Anyway.